going to learn about the login function, and this will be the last material. Okay? So there will be two PowerPoint. So the first PowerPoint is about the login, and the other is about the social login. So we will learn about the login function, but I will just use the existing library. It means you don't need to modify, you don't need to create from the first time. So you just need to access, and if you need to modify, you can modify from the existing one. Okay, so this is the example of the login. So you can have the username, you can have the password, and then you can have the login button, and then register button. Yeah. So the basic idea of the login functions, yeah, there will be at least 4 main functions. So the first is about how we enter the website with the user and password. And register, it means if you are a new user, because now you're using the database. Yeah. If we finish with the session in the web environment, then you can log out. Yeah. And then if there are some issue with the security, then you can change the password. So that's the basic function of the login. To elaborate the functions, yeah, we can use the existing library. So in the Django, some people try to develop the login functions, and they make it in the library. One of the library is widget tweaks. So we are going to use this widget tweaks. Okay, what is the meaning by this trick? Okay. So I give you the link, this one. So this is the way to render the template. Okay, so it is not based on the Python level, but it is in the HTML. So you know, in Django we already know some of the templates. For example, we use the for loop, we have the if then else in the HTML to support the Django. Okay. So all the things are in the HTML side, but there are some backends in the Django, and we can reuse the code in Django. So that should be enough for designer to customize field presentation. So if you want to modify the CSS, yeah, you can modify. Or if you want to add some more function with the JavaScript, yeah, that's also fine. So it means you can modify the front end. So you don't need to modify the back end. So this is free, we can use it. Yeah. So we will install this one. Maybe I will install it in the PyCharm. Okay. And for this purpose, let's use the GitHub. Okay. So the GitHub here is to be the bridge. Okay. So I already set up some examples on the GitHub, and we are going to do the VCS, the version control system. And if you want to get the code from the GitHub, so you can just clone. Okay. And after you clone, then you can do something in your local computer. Or the second, you can use fork. What is the meaning by fork? So we will learn also about fork. And the other is about branch. Oh, this is not VSC, this is VCS. Okay. So we will also learn about branch. Okay. So the idea is like this one. If you are going to fork, so it means you are going to make the code in your local, but the origin or the code from the other person still there. So you will not modify anything from the original. And you can use your own GitHub. So it will be a fork to our GitHub, so we can modify. If you are modifying from the other person, usually it takes some more roles. For example, you need to be the collaborator, so you need to get the approval. Okay, so it's more complicated. Okay, for modifying from the origin. So because of the time limitation, I think I will teach you how if we fork, and then if we make something in our site, and then how can we make the branch. And this is the example. So if you have the master, or this is the branch, and then if you modify something and then you update something, and then after this, for example, you know that, okay, I think I need to do something with the code in one side, but I do not want to leave the existing. I do not want to delete the existing. So you can make the original, this one, and then you can make a branch. For example, the brand name is test. So this is the brand's name is Trump. And then after you have the new brands here, so you can keep developing. And then if you want to start from this one, you can also keep developing. So it is different. After some time, for example, you think, oh, this is good. You want to merge. So you want to combine with this code. Yeah, that's possible. Or after you have more development here, you want to combine with this, after we develop more, we want to combine with this development. That's also possible. Okay. So the branch, it means we want to create a different path. Okay. So the idea is from the graph. Okay. So if you join the data structure and algorithm, we call this is the directed graph. And with the directed graph, we can follow. Now, in which states are we? If we are now in the state 6, are we going to merge with the original branch or not? Or if you are going to develop more, then you can make your own choice. Or if you want to make, for example, a new branch from this one, that's also possible. So there are many options for this one. But I will just give you very simple branch option. Okay. So now let's try. Okay. Let's try with the PyCharm. We are going to start with the first one, how we can get the file from the origin. Okay. So let's suppose we have the PyCharm. Okay, I will close this one. I created a new file because now it's too complex to explain this part. Okay, please, if you have your Django, please try to follow me the step by step. I'm not sure if it works well in this computer, but let's try. Okay. First, we need to close. So after you close your project, you can get the VCS. Okay. So VCS means the version control system. Oh, maybe I need to close first. Okay, wait a moment. Maybe if you have the GitHub in your site, I can recommend you to close your GitHub. For now, I'm not sure how I close the GitHub from the main panel, but let me close my GitHub from here. So you can go to the file and then you can go to the setting. So in the setting, you have the version control, and then you have GitHub. Okay, can you find this one? So if you click on one project, after you enter the project, you can go to the setting, and then you can go to the version control, and then find the GitHub. And these are the Git or the Mercurial ID or the Git ID that you can use. And they will save all the ID here. So let's say for my case, I use this ID. So this ID is active because uh, I I can last time I used this ID in this computer. Okay. For me, I guess I will just delete first. Okay, so I will remove this one because I will need it for the later purpose. So after I remove that one, let me close again. And I will get the version control system. Now they will ask you, okay, so you can see here in the left part, you can see the GitHub and the GitHub Enterprise. Now there is no account. It means there is no connection with the GitHub now. And I would like to get one project. Okay, so I already give you this one. You can take this link. Okay, so if you want to take a look on the GitHub, so you can paste the link. Okay, so you can see this one. So this is the login project, and there are some folder. So this is the folder related to the login project, and then this related to the chart. Okay, so this is the template that you can use. So I will just use this one, and then you can copy from the PowerPoint and then paste in the PyCharm. So you have the URL. This is from the GitHub. Okay. So there are options here. Right? Last time you know that we can choose the Git or we can use the Mercurial or the Subversion. So in this case, we use the Git. And after you have this URL, okay, so you can uh, make your own directory. For example, yeah, if you want to keep the name with login project, that's fine. Maybe let me just change, okay, so I can distinguish it later. So for my case, I would like to use login project 123. So after I finish with this setting, so I can just do the clone. So it takes some time, and now you will see there is a project here. And this is the result from the GitHub clone. So the folder is totally the same with the GitHub. Here you can see the chart, you can see the login project, and you can see the template. So if you go here, yeah, you can see this is login project, and then yeah, this is the chart and this is the templates. Now, after you have this one, yeah, of course, you satisfy because you can just get from GitHub. That's it. That's easy. The problem now, how we can run this one? How can we run the code in our PyCharm? So here, you need to run, but the run button is not available. So how can we do this one? I give you the step by step. In the right panel, you can see the add configuration. Where is it? Here. Okay, so you can see the add configuration. Okay, so here is the add configuration. So you can click the add configuration. After you have the panel here, okay, you will be asked what kind of templates do you use here. So there are many options. Yeah. So it means nowadays there are many kind of web server. Yeah, you can use the app engine server, you can use the Node.js or attached to the Chrome. Yeah, you can have this environment behave, you can use component and etc. Okay, so today I'm going to use the Django server. Of course, if you think that you are familiar with other kind of server, yeah, that's fine. However, this GitHub link is about the Django. So we need to know, we need to understand what is that link about, because if you want to, for example, get the link from other kind of GitHub, yeah, you need to match with this one. If it is about the Node.js, yeah, maybe you need to use the npm. If you are using the Flask, maybe you need to use this Flask server and etc. So let's just use the Django server because the code in GitHub is about the Django. After you select the Django, yeah, we can create the configuration here. Okay, so I also give you the link here. So you can do the create configuration. And yeah, you can give a name. What will be the name here? So the name can be anything. Let's say, yeah, I just want to make the login project, for example, or you want to make it one login project 123. That's also fine. Yeah. The host, okay. The original host is the port 8000. So let me just skip with this one, and then you can do with the browser with this link, okay. And now there's one error. Error is Django is not importable in this environment. Then, yeah, you need to check this one, Python interpreter. Yeah, in my case, I need to use this Python 3.8, but I'm not sure in your computer, so you can check in your computer. So the Python environment in my computer is using the Anaconda. So last time I know some of you use different kind of environment. Please check that one. So if there is no error, yeah, it means it seems that you are ready with this configuration. So you can just click OK. And the environment will work. And then you can run. Now you can see there are some errors. So what is the errors? So don't be afraid with the errors. Okay, so the error is this one, because we don't have the widget tweaks. So as I mentioned to you, this project use the widget tweaks. Okay? Then let's install the widget tweaks. This one is the pip install Django widget tweaks. So you can copy this one. So do you still remember how shall we install this? You can go to the terminal. Go to the terminal section here. Okay, so after you have the command prompt, you can copy and paste here. So we can install the widget tweaks. So you can see now it is downloading, and then now it is successfully installed. After you have the widget tweaks, okay, I guess you are ready for the project. Okay, so there's another error. Let's see. There is no module name widget tweaks. So still there is no widget tweaks here. Maybe let me just use this Anaconda prompt. So let me install from here. Okay, I use the Anaconda prompt to install the Django widget tweaks. Maybe the environment should be in the global one. Okay. After you do this one, let me try one more time. Okay, now it works. Okay, so sometimes you need to understand how you can put the library. So you can put in the local. So if it is in the local, it means it is only for the project. But if you put in the global, for example here, so it means you are installing this library in the Anaconda. So once you have the library in the Anaconda, you can use for every project. Okay, that's all. So if you are okay with those installation, I guess you can start. Okay, now it works. So we can see the first page. So this is the first page. This is the home. Okay. And then we have this anonymous. Okay. So you can see the login and register. So how if I click login? Okay, now you have this information. So this is the built-in in Django. You can reuse all the functions, but I'm just modifying the main page. So I'm just modifying the HTML. I use the CSS to make like this environment. Let's say I want to register, okay, because I do not have any ID for the first time. Actually, I guess, yeah, I already give you. So I already give you the login, so you can use this ID admin and the password this one. But if you want to make your own, you can try. Okay, let's say I'm registering a new user. Okay, this is the uh, built-in function in Django, so you don't need to make by your own function. So it has been ready. It means in your team project, you can just focus on your main objective. You don't need to worry about this login environment because everything has been done in Django. Let's say I want to make the username testing, okay, and the password. Okay, let me just use the IME203, IME203, okay, and then I will register. Okay, so and then this is the registration completed. So if I want to log in, I can go back here, and then let's say I use the testing, and then I have, okay, now I enter the system. I can see the option like Google chart. Okay, I can see the bubble chart. I can see the pie chart. I can see the other framework. Oops, why this is not working? Multiple chart. Okay, so this is the chart that we already learned. And then map chart. Okay, and then GeoJSON chart. Okay, so everything is in the one website. Okay? So if you are trying to make the theme project later, so you can consider to have like this environment. So you can have the option at the top of your page, and then you can see, for example, you want to use this kind of drop down. Okay, I guess now you understand how to read the HTML file. Maybe let's try to figure out the HTML file a little bit later. And after you have this function, now I don't have the home. You can see here, okay, you can change the password. Okay. So what is the old password? For example, okay, I want to change a little bit. Maybe, okay, let me try this one. Is it possible? Okay, okay, so the password change successful. So after you have this, maybe you can go home. Okay, you can go to the other part. And it's the same. Let's figure out if it is logged out. Okay, then there is no option in the top of the code. So if you want to log in again, then you can log in again. Okay. I will explain more about this one, how this system works, but let me continue with the GitHub first. Okay. Yeah, in some cases, you cannot run the project. I'm not sure about your environment now, but okay, let me check. Are you okay with the project now? Yeah, just in case if you have errors, then maybe you need to do the make migration and you need to migrate. Okay. So after you do the migration, migrate and then run again. Or yeah, you need to check the settings. Maybe there are some other things that you need to satisfy with your computer. Okay. You will ask me if you have the user ID, and then let's say I want to add name. I want to access the username, not the user ID. Then you can go to the database. So you know already about the database. You can go to the right panel. Okay, so here there is a database. Okay. So in the database, you can open this. Okay. But don't use this one because this is, I think this is the old one. This is the old that we already use. You can remove this one. So you can copy and paste this new db.sqlite. Okay. So this one, you can drag this db.sqlite tree into this one. So now you have the db in your environment. Okay, and you can check the schema contain a lot of things like the author, group permission. So you can set this one. And if you want to check the user, if you double click this, you will see, okay, I have the two users. So this is the first user ID, which is, oh, this is username, admin. And this is the second one is testing. So there's another attribute like first name, okay, and then yeah, you can have like the last name. Okay. So you can input that one, and you can later get that one to put into your web page. So it means you don't need to make the user. Okay. So you can just get from the Django, and it is more convenient. So if you are going to make the inventory system, then you can focus on the inventory system. If you are going to make the group, like the traveling salesman problem, then just focus on the traveling salesman problem, and the login and registration function, you can just reuse this one. Okay. Is there any question now? Okay, hopefully that there is no problems in your computer. So we are going to go to the next section about the fork and branch. Okay, so what is the meaning by fork and branch? Some people say forking, branching. Okay, so it is the term for the GitHub. When you do with the fork, it means, yeah, you already know in the figure that I explained before. Yeah, if we have a new, if we have the origin GitHub, we want to make it in our own GitHub. So it is fork. But if we have this GitHub and then I want to keep the main code, meanwhile, I want to make a new one. So I can make the branch. In the forking, yeah, you can have the branch separated by user. So one user, two users, three users, they can have different brands. And it can reduce clutter in the primary repository. It means you can, if there is any issue with the primary repository, then there will be no problem. For example, if you change a little bit, and then maybe your environment is Mac and my environment is Windows, then there will be a conflict. So that kind of things might be happen if you are not doing a good way in the branching. Okay, so if you are using forking, that will be better. And your team process reflects the external contributor process. So there is no correlation between the contributor. I explained to you in the first time. I will not explain how to modify from the origin, because if you are modifying from the origin, then you need to have the contribution and etc. However, there is a cons. So the cons means the disadvantage, the negative side. It is difficult to see all of the branches that are active. And the collaboration on a branch is trickier. It means if you want to collaborate with other people, because we are in the different user, so it's a little bit tricky. And yeah, this is the most difficult part. You need to understand the concept of multiple remotes. So I will not discuss now because it takes more time. Okay, but if you want to do this one, if you want to understand the multiple remotes, it means you will do with one fork and another fork. Yeah. So yeah, that's about the multiple remote. You can study by yourself for this one. And today we are going to also learn about the branching. Okay. So we want to keep all works being done around a project in one place. So if you have your project and then you can make the branch. I want to keep my own code, and then let's say I have another idea, but I'm not sure whether it works or not. So I want to keep the existing, and then I create a new branch. So that's possible. All collaborators can push to the same branch to collaborate on it. So if you have collaborators, then you can use the same link, and then you can make several branches. And the positive part is there's only one Git remote to deal with. So you need to understand the remote one, but I will not discuss the remote here. The negative side is branches that get abandoned can pile up more easily. So if you don't use the branch, if you make new branch and then if you don't use it, yeah, so that will be a problem if you in the future merge. And also the team contribution process does not match with the external contribution. So you can have your own team. Okay. Of course, if you want to, it is the team project. You will have your team members. You can make a collaboration with your team members. But for example, if I want to access in your project, then yeah, it's not possible because I'm from the external. So you need to you need to add the team members as contributor before they can make the brands. So this one, I think you can learn by yourself how to add the contributors because it requires the ID. So it makes complicated if you want to use this one. So let's see. This is the original. Okay. This is the original from the GitHub, and then I want to fork. So it means I will make a new GitHub. Okay. And if I have the local machine, okay, so if I do the upstream, so I can do the upstream to the GitHub original, but the local machine will usually connect only to the fork. So I will not teach this one. So this one is, I will not teach this one, but I think I better to teach you about how to connect to the fork, and then you can fork, and after you fork, then you can make your own repository, and after you have your own repository, yeah, you can update with your own ID. So this is your own ID in your GitHub. Okay, this is the step to fork a repo. Okay. Uh, okay, let's just do it. Okay. So I have another GitHub project. Yeah, basically it is the same. It basically is the same with the first one. However, I would like to use the other project to just monitor about the fork. So you can copy this link. Okay. So this is the login project, but I just use the word additional. Okay. Now, can you see fork here? Okay. Can you see fork? Okay, yes. Okay, thank you, Kim Yunju. So if you already in this fork, in this GitHub, now you can click the fork. Okay. So here you can see you must be signed in to fork a repository. Yeah, because I used multiple ID. Okay. Now I will fork this one. You can click, and yeah, they will ask about my ID. Maybe it is also the same with yours. Okay. So you can input your ID of your GitHub. So in my case, I have two different ID. So if you are asked with the ID and password, please enter it. And yeah, you will have the, oh, so now you are forking that project. Okay, let me check. This one is Oh, okay. I already forking this ID, so I guess I need to okay. Yeah, because I already tried in my GitHub, so they recognize it. Okay, so this is the result of my fork. Okay. Uh, Maybe I will let me delete this one because I need to teach you something. Yeah, let me try to delete this repository. Okay, this is the way to delete the repository. You can go to the setting and then you need to type uh, the project name, and then after you understand this one, then it will be deleted. Okay. Okay, so let me do one more time. Okay, so I will do the for. Okay, now it is added into my repository. Okay, so this is the project from Bernardo Yahya. So that's just the first, the original GitHub. And now I have added to my own account, Bernardo Nugroho, and I have this project, login project additional. Okay. So if you already have this one, then, oh, I forgot this. Now it's the time for you to get the project to your environment. So do you still remember how did you get the project from the GitHub? Okay, let me close. Okay, let me close and then let me get from VCS again. And now I would like to use the link from my GitHub. I will not use the Bernardo Yahya, but let me just use my own GitHub. Okay, so I will just use this Bernardo Nugroho things, and then I will put here, and yeah, you can again make your own directory. So for example, I will make login project additional 1, 2, 3. So let me clone. Okay, I hope that you are familiar with this, how to get from the GitHub environment. And then after you already have this project, okay, you need to add the configuration. So you need to go to the Django server, create configuration. Let's see, this is just type the login project. Don't forget to select the interpreter and then okay. So after you have this one, okay, I guess there is no issue with this and perfect. We can make this one. However, because this is the new project, okay, so this is the new one from your GitHub, so your testing is not available. Okay, so it is not available because this is from the fork. So you just got by forking the project. So it means you need to register one more time. Okay, I think let's stop here. Let's have a break. I will continue after the break.